This week on the PPLP, we talk about Martyr Like bodybuilding Instagrammers and is functional training making a comeback? Three, two, one. Is Laura there, Dan?
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. We're giggling to ourselves because Dan completely messed up my joke and thought I was being serious just before there.
It wasn't a joke, it was horrific. It was just horrific.
Way over his head. It was only because we were previously joined by little Isabel, who didn't want to see me, obviously.
She did not want to see you, did she? Just want to see Vicky, mate. Not interested in you.
Yeah, straight on Skype. Where's Vicky? All right, okay, cool.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Tom came to visit me at the weekend, and Isabel absolutely loved Tom's girlfriend Vicky, and no, she didn't mind Tom, but really, really took a shrine to Vicky. So
yeah, I mean,
she was asking.
It's up for debate whether I just put her over there.
Just don't come next time, mate. Just don't bother come.
I'll just send Vicky, and then I will live in London by myself. Absolutely fine.
Parties, I'd say.
I think, yeah, probably the future of our relationship. So it's absolutely fine. Yeah. Yeah, mate. It was good. Went down to Bath on the weekend. Lovely little place. All the better for having Dan there, obviously.
It was very chilled, and we enjoyed some steak. I managed to finish a 16-ounce steak, believe it or not.
You did. I saw it in front of me. He was, and I quote off the back of that. Just we ate steak, right, and then we had a fair bit to eat. And then the morning after, Dan was like, "I feel like I'm hungover." The lad that was drinking Diet Cokes, all right?
Yeah,
we're all drinking wine. I feel weird. I feel hungover. This is weird. I was like, Dan, no, you're not. You just had a lot of salt. Basically, you had desert mouth, mate. We had desert mouth, sand mouth, whatever you want to call it.
I even felt weird. Like it didn't even feel right.
Too much protein. Too many gains in one night. Yeah, you had a porterhouse. I had a 16-ounce T-bone, and we, the sad acts that we are, we did look up the difference because we didn't have a clue. We ordered it based off it was the most expensive thing on the menu and it was the biggest thing on the menu.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
But basically they're pretty similar. That's what we kind of learned, wasn't it? We were like, actually, 100%. There's not a huge amount of difference.
And I bet there'll be people going, you absolute Philistines, why do you not like it? I don't know.
They are pretty much the same. Like, people will be like, oh, there's a technical difference, but they're pretty much the same.
They're the same thing. They've both got a big bone in the middle. But yeah, wonderful. Nice little weekend. Bath is a nice place. But one thing we've got to go is Game of Thrones. Did you watch it, Dan?
Yeah, Jon Snow was quality, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jon Snow's so good. So I actually watched Game of Thrones. Dan has no idea what's going on.
It was the best. It was the best episode ever, though. I've ever seen. I've ever seen a Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna leave this right here. It was not the best episode ever.
No, it was. Facebook told me it was. Everyone on Facebook tells me it is.
There's definitely at least two that rank above it, and that is Battle of the Bastards, which was a better battle, by the way, and Red Wedding. So, yep, those two rank above that one. Come at me, and I'm sure I'll get people coming at me for that.
I disagree, mate.
Disagree? No? Yeah, that's fine. It's cool. That was one of the things I was excited for this week, and leaving you, obviously, and the gift of Frosted Flakes Lucky Charms, which I just told you about before the show.
I'm so jealous.
You are 100% jealous. Dan is jealous by the person who bought that.
Yeah, they are without doubt one of the cereals that I've craved the longest. Like that, really want to try from America.
So yeah,
because the other thing about American cereals is over here, like you get cereal and they must have recently, obviously with the sugar tax and stuff, they've obviously put something to cereal companies to say, look, you can't have that much sugar in, because cereals aren't as sweet as they used to be. Frosties are nowhere near as sweet as they used to be. Like, remember over here we used to have Frosties with chocolate on, actual double layered, and now you just have chocolate flakes. It's not chocolate Frosties and stuff, right? But in America they don't have the same rules. Like, so these, you can have Frosted Flakes with freeze-dried marshmallows. Imagine how sweet that's going to be. It's amazing. But they're allowed to do these sorts of things over there. Like they still have chocolate Frosties, I think, over there. And like, I'm so jealous that they have such unhealthy cereal.
Good.
Want it.
I might eat them just in front of you. Just put you on Skype and just have it during the recording at some point. I did debate that this evening, but yeah, because I haven't opened yet. But I'm going to enjoy them. That's the point.
Yeah, but mate, it's fine though, because I'm dieting now, and so I'm just eating boring, bland food all the time.
Are you?
I'm going to be exhausted and hungry, and I'm not going to ever go out or do anything. So it's fine.
Because nobody sees the early mornings, mate.
No one sees the hard work behind the closed doors, mate. I don't see any friends. I don't have any cake. I don't do anything.
So I think we're just going to go straight into this. We got, basically on my notes, I've written more on posting.
Right.
Pretty much. And then we'll talk a bit about functional training and some marathon advice at the end. But yeah, let's go in on this. I'm just going to... Should I read it? I'll set the scene.
Set the scene, mate. Try and describe the picture a little bit as well.
I'll describe the picture. Oh, yeah. So, first of all, we've got the picture. Whoa. Yeah, he's pretty juiced up. Not looking too fantastic in either shape, either side of the transformation, if I'm going to be honest. A little bit saggy, G'd up, holding a pink dumbbell to a bigger dumbbell, so obviously he made gains. Don't know what he's doing with it though, could be anything. But then, everyone, this is the captions that is with the photo. Everyone sees the progress. Not everyone see the early mornings, good. Bland meals, pain, sweat, reclusiveness, extensive cardio, exhaustion, hunger, avoidance of social gatherings, no birthday cake or Thanksgiving dinner. Wonderful. Don't do this for anyone else, but you're for yourself. Wonderful. You have the opportunity to have complete residency of your body, to have purpose, discipline, and to inspire and educate others. Too many ands in that one. Don't fear hard work. It's not going to kill you. It will transform you. Do what you fear. Hashtag Transformation Tuesday. Hashtag Transformation. Hashtag FitsPro. Hashtag Gym Life. Hashtag Fitness Motivation. Hashtag Motivation. Hashtag Cuddles with Babes. No, I'm joking. That's not the last one. That was Josh. It's fine.
What a fucking dickhead!
Mate.
I couldn't believe when I got tagged in that. I read it. And I was just like, it's the standard fitness industry. Like, oh, I'm hard. Look at me. Like, oh, I eat chicken and broccoli all the time. Like, you're not a fucking hero, mate. Like, again, like Mike talks about this all the time. He makes the common reference. It's just like you've not fucking fought a war. Like, people have fought in wars, mate. Like, they're the ones that have struggled. Like, you're making it sound like it's some sort of epic battle, like it is fucking Game of Thrones. Do you know, go fuck yourself, mate. You've eaten some chicken and some broccoli and some rice, and you've been on the treadmill, and you've done some cardio and lifted some weights. But not only that, he's making it sound, I wouldn't want to fucking do that. He's making it sound like the hardest thing ever, and it just doesn't have to be like that. No. And it's just, like, the guy's got 300,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, they're all idiots, for a start, following him. But, like, I just don't get the angle. It's like, I'm better than you because I make it hard for myself. No, you're an idiot. You're not smart enough to know there's an alternative way. And that is that you can actually have a bit of cake and you can actually go to social gatherings. Like, it's that kind of mindset, or that kind of, like, content put out by these people that puts other people off fitness, and they think it needs to be extreme and they think it needs to be that way. And it's frightening, because that kind of person probably coaches people and probably puts, they get disordered eating and eating disorders, and they just end up hating training and life. And it's like, some of the comments are just laughable, like, that which does not kill you makes you stronger. Crush, kill, destroy. Well, no, mate, actually, if you get hit by a bus, you don't die, but you get paralysed, you're not stronger, are you? You're not.
No.
You're not be stronger. You're not mentally stronger, because you have to deal with, the tragedy of having it all happen to you, but you're not physically stronger. Like, you wouldn't be able to do in your legs, for example, would you, in the gym? Like, ridiculous. And the whole, like, that whole mindset is just ridiculous. There's another one. Was like, no one understood it last time I did it, or something like that, and it was just like, how much they hated it. I was like, they were like, I hated it the first time, and, like, all my friends and family, no one understood it, but I want to do even better results this time around. I'm like, oh my god, like, no physique is worth losing, like, family or relationships over. Like, just doing it that way, especially when you don't need to do it that way.
Yeah, all I wrote next to it is doing it wrong.
And the other thing about the transformation picture is, it's not even that great results. It's not even, like, genuinely, it's not even like he's on stage shredded to the bone and ripped. He's probably lost maybe 8 kilos, and he's got, like, the rough outline of some abs, and his obliques popping out a little bit. He's had a shave, so he looks a little bit leaner. But, like, it's not even drastic. It's like a mini cut for most people. The results.
It does look like a mini cut, yeah. But I think it's just I don't care about, like, the picture. Like, fair play. If that's a good result, then that's a good result for him. But it's just like, yeah, if you're writing all of that, I hope that he's not looking for clients, because I'm going to guess that a lot of people will be like, screw that.
It's that whole like survival of the fittest thing, isn't it? It's the whole like, oh, only the strongest survive. No, mate, you're just an idiot with no brain cells. You just don't know there's a better way of doing it.
Yeah, it's just making something that they clearly think is they think it's clearly hard, just seem absolutely unattainable to any kind of general population or anybody. Like, it's just avoidance. Avoidance of social gatherings is like something we do on a regular basis anyway, so that's not hard work.
We don't have any friends, so it's easy.
Don't have friends, and you're fine. No birthday cake, obviously, because you didn't go. Yeah, you have no friends, so
exactly. You got no one to invite. Mate.
No, or Thanksgiving dinner. So yeah, that's bland meals. I mean, that goes just. Yeah. I mean, bland meals just goes on your cooking ability, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, just throw some barbecue sauce on there, mate.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're having chicken, just throw a bit of barbecue sauce on there.
That'd be fine. Some sweet chili. There's loads of stuff.
Why does food have to be bland? Like, why does it have to be bland for it to work? Like, why does fat loss only work if you eat bland food? Why? Why does that make a difference? I don't understand, like.
So we know, like, everyone see the early mornings. Cool.
You don't have to get up early, mate. You can train late at night. Train late at night. Why train early in the morning? Makes no difference.
Zero difference. If that's the only time you got to fit it in, like, then fair, 100%.
Yeah, it's like those people who are like, oh yeah, get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go to bed at 7, but I get up at 4:30. Like, what's the point? Get to bed at 10.
That's the ones. It's like the some of these. The Olympic swimmers and rowers always get me. I know it's their job to like row and swim and stuff. Okay, they get paid to do that, and they're always out super early. And I never get why. I never got why they had to be there really early. I was like, why? Well, because like, yeah, that bit of the river's chocker at like 8:30. You got to be out there at 6. It's like, no, I don't think there's loads of canal boats just jumping up and down anymore. But yeah, very strange. I've never got that. Exhaustion. You might get exhausted. Extensive cardio.
Not
Cardio's a tool. Not necessary if you don't need to. Hunger. Yep.
To a degree.
But yeah, and don't do it for anyone else but yourself. Yeah, fine. It's just yeah. It's too philosophical for its own good, right? It's just like I don't understand it, mate. I just don't, like you say, like I know how he's trying to portray himself. He's trying to make out that he's some sort of fucking hero, and he's not. And he's not a hero. He's a dickhead, and he clearly has no brain cells. He clearly doesn't understand anything about science or physiology. He has no idea how to get in shape. Like, he probably doesn't even realise he could have the same number of calories he's been having and have a bit of cake and still have got those results. Like, he has no clue. And the thing that I don't understand about these sorts of people is how that they can say people who get results using flexible dieting, like, how do they explain that? You know, like, I can look at someone who does just chicken, broccoli and rice and eats clean, and I can explain how they got in shape. You cut down many calories, mate. You did that. You know, whatever. You didn't eat any cake. Brilliant. But how do they explain it when someone gets in shape using flexible dieting, when they eat cake and they stick to their calories and they get in shape? Oh, they lied about eating cake. Well, no, they didn't. They posted it all over Instagram. Oh, God.
Like, I don't understand how they can. I don't understand how they can. How they don't just sit there and go, hang on a minute, there's something in this. Like, because people get in shape doing it all the time. And that's what baffles me about it all, is like they don't sit back and just go, hang on a minute, like, how did he get in shape then if he ate cake? Because to them, they think eating one bit of cake ruins their whole progress and ruins their whole body. And then I think they go with the whole argument of, he won't be healthy though. He won't be healthy.
He won't be healthy, yeah. It's the whole, he's not getting his vitamin minerals. Mate, you're having bland food.
Yeah, you eat the same food every day, mate. You're not getting your vitamins and minerals either.
The one thing that we always say about is variety. Like, generally speaking, good variety of food is going to be better for you. But the only way thing kind of dips into every walk of life, isn't it? Like, it being that close-minded ends up being in every culture. But it's definitely creating that culture that somebody is following. So it's almost very religious, that kind of culture. Culty, I would say, not religious.
It is. And I think when you surround yourself with people like that, I talked about this with Mike after he saw the shows at the weekend and stuff, is that I think when the reason that it's rife in that kind of world where it's all like, you know, getting on stage or being ripped or drugs and that sort of stuff, is like, you surround yourself with these sorts of people who want to be hardcore. So hardcore is not having cake. Hardcore is like not having those sorts of stuff. So when you get in that environment and you're surrounded by and these people become your friends and all that sort of stuff, you might start off with a flexible dieting approach. You might start off with a knowledge of its calories and all that sort of stuff. But because you're so ingrained in it and you surround yourself with these people all the time, you realize you just do what they do. Because you think, oh, well, they know what they're doing. They're bigger than me or they're leaner than me. And I'll just do, without going back and taking a step back and thinking rationally and going, hang on a minute. I was doing it before and I was fine. But because you're surrounded by him, and again, it's something like that. It's frightening that some people will listen to him and they'll think that. They'll think they have to grind harder or they think they have to, all that sort of shit. And why is your cardio, getting up at 4:30 to do cardio, any different than doing it at 4:30 in the afternoon? It's not. No fucking different. It's no different.
Fasted, mate. Fasted. It's great.
And I just, I think sometimes it's a real problem is that you do get these echo chambers where, like I said, I'm sat here going, yeah, you can get in shape that way. By all means, go and do it if you want to do it that way. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's just not what most people would probably want to do.
It's just making it a hell of a lot harder than it could have been.
Yeah. And it's that whole thing of like, I'm not sat here going, you're wrong, mate. I'm here saying you don't have to do it you don't have to do it that way. You can do it another way. There's more than one way to do it. Whereas they go, there's only one way to do it. And it's their way or no way. And it's just, that's what I mean. I don't get how they can explain it. How do they explain people to get in shape while they're eating cake? How do they do it?
And socialising.
Oh, fucking, I'll get a knife. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Oh.
Can't possibly.
Let's all go to a pie and take our own chicken. But it's got to be bland though, no sauce.
It's got to be bland, no sauce. No sauce pie. Absolutely no. But yeah, that would be good though, mate. Absolutely no. Sounds like one of your parties at uni though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, very true. Have you ranted enough on that post?
I think so, yeah.
You think so? Cool.
Yeah.
If
people will be sick and tired of it by now.
Yeah, I think Dan did a little bit of ranty on his Instagram stories as well. So if you want to go follow that, please do pick up where you left off. It's only available for the next 3-4 hours if you listen to this on a Wednesday. I'm guessing. Yeah. But yeah, super interesting. These people shouldn't have. They're always going to have a space in the industry at some point because they're the extremes that we can make podcasts and shows about.
Maybe I should be one of the idiots who follows them. Maybe I should start following them all the time.
That's what you said, right? So I feel like there was a point where I did follow a lot of people who I didn't like. And then I'm like, but then they annoy me when I look at my phone, and I'm like, you go through an unfollowing phase. You ever do that where you'll sit there and be like, I'm going to just flick through who I'm following, and then there'll be random stuff that comes up. And you're like, why am I following you? Like, I have no idea. And then you just unfollow. Very strange. You keep your follow list quite small, don't you?
Yeah, I've started following a few more people now. Yeah. I mean, I might stop now. Yeah.
Yeah, I try and keep mine at about an even 500.
I just find that, like I said, I just lose track.
498, so there's two people who are looking for it. So,
but I've started now. Like, if you're a listener of the show and you are active on Instagram, do just send me a message or just say and I will follow people. I am trying to interact more with people who do follow a lot of what we do, but it's hard to know who does or not because a lot of people I know listen to the show, they message me and I've never heard their name or seen their name on Instagram. They never liked any of my stuff or whatever, and I'm like, no, I listened to your show for ages. So if you do listen to the show and you're active, then follow, and I'll obviously make sure you follow me, but let me know, and I'll follow you back because it's always nice to interact with these people and know that that they're out there. That it's not just our mums that listen. God, I can imagine that they'd be fucking.
100%. My mum doesn't listen because
I was about to say they'd be let down by us.
If anybody wants a laugh, honestly, go through. I don't realize I don't post a lot, but any post I would put up, my mum will comment. And most of my stories, my mum will comment on my stories. So a lot of the ones are like, "That's gonna fall on your toes, Tom." I'm like, brilliant. Okay, if I'm doing cleans or lifts or anything like that. And where was one? I had my hat on backwards that I sometimes do if I'm wearing a baseball hat and I haven't done my hair. I normally wear it backwards, don't really wear it forwards. She goes, one of the comments was, "Don't put your hat backwards. You look like a thug." Thanks, Mum.
Tom, to be fair, mate, you look the least thuggish I've ever known anyone to look.
Thanks, man.
You don't look like a thug. If I saw you walking down the street, I would not be in the slightest intimidated by you.
I'm far too nice.
Yeah.
I got the beard. I look like, that's about it. If you've got a beard, you instantly everybody.
If you had a cap on backwards, I just think Skater Boy. I wouldn't think
Skater Boy is Also, which I've noticed lately that I might as well be sponsored by Vans. The amount of Vans things that I put on and wear all the time is madness. Yeah, but their shoes are so comfy. So. Dan disagrees. Obviously,
but never owned a pair, so I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
Nope.
Well, I'll buy you a pair of those.
I'm not a skater boy, mate.
Oh, yeah, they've got like their comfy fit ones, like the trainery ones. That's what I wear. Not the like flat ones. But I did used to wear flat like my Vans. I bought them from New York actually. That's the way I wore my first powerlifting event. I wore these.
You wore Vans for your first powerlifting event?
Yeah. Only for deadlifting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, not for my. What did I have? My Reds, my nice Innovates. Lovely.
Innovates. I used to have a pair of those. They were really nice trainers, actually.
Lovely, yeah. They were good. Innovate's underrated. There was a phase at our gym, wasn't there, that everybody had very, very similar shoes.
Yeah.
Like, was it Innovate? You had New Balances. All the Minimus ones. That was a big thing, wasn't it? It was all Minimus, like flat. There was a few people that had toe shoes. Does anybody still have like the persistence of it? It's got to be like a flat shoe or all that kind of business. Is that like 4 or 5 years ago now?
I think it was a bit of time ago. I think they're still, like I said, I still see adverts for the old Vivo like barefoot trainers. They're not barefoot.
They are ghastly. They are awful. Anything. I'm sorry, we're never going to get sponsored by Vivo, but I can't stand those shoes. They just look awful.
Yeah, like because obviously the Minimus ones I used to like because I think walking around the gym floor and training them, they were nice. But like you never wore them because they were particularly like, I suppose, good-looking trainers. Like even the Innovates, they were all right, but it was just different. We used to have like a black uniform, so any sort of colour you used to get at your trainers. I had like a white, something like that. But like I detested the whole like barefoot. I never used to wear them because they were like supposed to be better for your feet. Like no, I just wore them because they were quite comfortable and they were just good to wear around the gym.
Yeah, training them.
It's not that they were barefoot because they're not barefoot, are they, mate?
Barefoot.
No. Barefoot trainers. Think about that for a second. Barefoot trainers. Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Right. Also, something got on my week this week, and it's the return. I think it's coming back round, much like the Innovates or whatever, and Dan's bodybuilding just constantly doesn't go away. I think that functional training is coming back. The term functional training. I believe we've made a show all about this anyway. Dan, what's the term functional training mean to you?
Functional training means I should be doing all my training on BOSU balls and with weights that resemble things that I use in everyday life. So like kettlebells, because you do carry things like kettlebells around all day with you. And if you're not doing anything explosive or using your whole body, it's not functional, mate. That's functional training, right? It's
functional training, yeah. So there's stuff like functional space as well. Is also a term that I've seen.
What you mean space? Functional space. Space. What's that? Just space.
Like literally, there's awards for best functional space in gyms.
Wow, what a space that just does what its job.
Does what it like. Toilet would be probably if it flushes and makes
that is
crap go away, the most functional space in the gym.
Drain, one of the most functional things. Ridiculous.
Yeah, madness. I burst out laughing when I saw that. I was like, what? I don't know. So I think the term, I'm 1,000% like people use this term every day, and it really annoys me. If you use it in an interview, you don't work for me. 100%. I don't like it. I think it's just it's all that like buzzwordy stuff that you randomly say. Like it's because we do on our personal training level 1 course, and I get some people to external cue, and I don't allow them to say squeeze your glutes. I don't allow them to say brace your abs. I have to make them come up with like random analogies for all these things. And I'm like, I don't want those words ever to be uttered in these 2 days because it's boring. It's all gimmicky, and it's just like your client doesn't really know what that means, and I don't think you do. No. So, but it's one that it's just turning into a roundabout terminology about training. But functional training, I think it's coming back because I've noticed a few people using BOSU balls again. They seem to be frequenting one of our gyms. And the Swiss balls. Swiss balls are fine in certain contexts, like stir the pot, all that kind of crap. It's like a little ab exercise, which is quite cool. But It's just maybe sparked up by one lad that I keep seeing who is just standing on the Swiss ball, like mind. And I'm more concerned. I've like got got a health and safety hat on. He's doing it around all these like steps and like the wall right next to him. And
he deserves to fall over.
And I'm like, if you fall over, you're done. Like, it's like, what is going on? And then like jumping on the Bosu ball, trying to land, that kind of stuff. He's never done it on the normal ground. I've never seen him do it on the normal ground, so I have no idea. So the argument against the functional training is generally seen like mace bars swinging around, all this kind of stuff, all gimmicky, all kind of thought up overnight. Oh, imagine if I did this with that, and like throwing a ball there and trying to catch it and then landing on my knee, and it'd be great. Having multiple, and kettlebells are a big thing for that. But against like normal traditional weight training. So I think we come to there is stuff that is, let's say functional life that normal weight training isn't. So, and if you were going to do some training like parkour, like track and field, running, that kind of stuff, hopping over, like parkour in real life is like hopping over a fence, something like that, yeah? Yeah. So jumping over a little gap.
The best way to do functional training for parkour is to go jump over fences, not be by the way.
Which is right. So I think like maybe the best like functional training I think people could do would be parkour, gymnastics, and maybe track and field. That's running, that's like tumbling and stuff, like falling down well in like graceful manner and like strong. And yeah, parkour is exactly that as well. I think those are the most functional trainings you're doing. But then it's all the gimmicky stuff against the weight training that I can't stand. And if you're just saying that I'm a functional trainer, or I like doing functional training and that's what I want to get good at, those three things, I'm going to say traditional big weightlifting things, push-pulls, yeah, all that kind of stuff, rather than these gimmicky things, I'm going to say that's going to get you 3-4 times as good at those three things, like real life training, than the gimmicky crap. Just put it out there. If it looks gimmicky and looks stupid, it probably is.
It definitely is. I had this argument with someone the other day about like the whole like being strong slows you down, or being too big slows you down. You know, that whole thing.
Oh, like, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, you've just reminded me as well. I'm writing in my notes now.
If you get too big, like too much muscle, you get like, oh, I don't want to get slow. You won't get slow. Like, ridiculous. Like, muscle mass produces force, so therefore you will be quicker. Like, yes, like the quickest people that you see, like, again, we always do the standard thing. You see it on Instagram, like, compare Usain Bolt to Mo Farah, right? Okay, yeah. I know that whole thing of like, which training would you want to do to grow muscle mass? No, that's really crap. But it's true in the sense that when you look at it, you look at someone who's quick like that, they're very, very muscular. Whereas someone that runs long distances isn't as muscular because, again, the way that those muscle fibers work, they don't need to be as hypertrophied. But some of the quickest people in the world are fucking huge and strong and powerful. The reason for that is that they have a lot of muscle mass. That translates into force and power. And that whole argument, it really frustrates me because I've never trained for speed in my life. I've never done sprint training, never done anything. But I'm quicker now than I've ever been in my life. And I'm older. Like, I shouldn't be quick. I would have been quicker probably when I was 20 odd, I should have been. But I'm quicker now than I've ever been because I'm strongest that I've ever been. Like, I've got more muscle mass than I've ever had because of age and all that sort of stuff. People don't understand that. Like, there's still this huge misconception of, oh, I don't want to get too bulky in case I slow down. It's like, oh my fucking god, it does my head in. It's like, you're not an S&C coach, so you can't comment. Like, you do well to just get bigger. Like, that would make you quicker. Even if you did no sprint training, you did no speed training, you did no power training, you just did strength training. And I'm going to even throw this out there. Even if you just did more hypertrophy training, like 8 to 12 reps, forget the like 5 reps and lower. If you just did that, you would get quicker in your sport, in whatever sport it was. You'd jump higher, you'd be more powerful because of more muscle mass. Like, the force created is to do with the amount of power you can exert and the amount of muscle mass you have that you can recruit to produce that power. Yeah.
So then, that relays into something we talked about last week about overall muscle mass being tapped into your central nervous system, so you're enabled to balance better, which is you're enabled to So if somebody who didn't have as much muscle mass, they're not able to put as much force, maybe. So if you're saying speed and jumping and stuff, right? So this person's got more muscle mass, they're probably a little bit stronger, they're enabling themselves to put more force through that very small contact point. So if you think about the contact point of a sprinter, they're running probably on the balls of their feet, but they're enabled to put a tremendous amount of force through that foot into the ground, which is going to propel them a little bit faster, right? If we think mechanically or physically. Whereas somebody who maybe is a little bit more unstable, where's that force going to go? It's not going to go directly into the ground, and you're not going to get direct ground reaction force. It's going to be wasted in certain other bits, and your foot's going to basically bound it off laterally, and it's going to go off that way. If we, say you're looking at that from a physics kind of angle, right? So that's how, relaying that more muscle mass is going to be probably good for you. Which is annoying, right? So that's, they're like, oh, they're just going to get bigger. No, it's just, great, cool. Then they get bigger. Then they get bigger, stronger, whatever they're doing. And possibly if they're doing a contact sport, that's a good thing. Then they're able to hold their ground a little bit better. But it was what you just said. So I'm Revive Stronger, right, with Steve Hall. I'm sure we're both in probably his group. There was something they were talking about, which I should have weighed in, honestly, but I'm sure not everybody in that group knows what I do or who I am. So
I'm going to probably say no one does, Tom.
Steve was on our show ages ago. Didn't like you, unless you were going to see him next week, aren't you? Week after. Say hi. He's got a great surname. But we talked about like flexible training in one of episode 30, 40, something like that.
Ages ago. I was away that week. The first week I was away.
Long time away. Probably invite him back on. He's again gone into bigger, better things than us. Nice chat. But they were talking about warming up for main sets. Obviously, Revive Stronger and all those guys are bodybuilders and powerlifters. And that's their thing, right? So I tend to look at, obviously I'm a little bit more biomechanics and S&C based, so I'm going to look at this from a slightly different angle, maybe better, I'm going to say better, than what they're saying about their warm-up sets. So I'm going to feel like Dan should agree with me, even though I'm sure he doesn't do it. He'll agree with the principle of it, and when talk about like potentiating a tendon for power and main lifts and potentiating the muscle group a little bit better. So even what Steve doing was a basic thing, really absolutely fine. I can't remember, I did save it, but it was like warming up for his main lifts, how he would do like a 20%, like a 45%, a 60%, and then like another couple of I don't know, strong lifts, and then he goes into his main lift, kind of gradually warming up. Absolutely fine for powerlifting, cool, going through that. Obviously he didn't elicit like what intensities those were, apart from the weight. He didn't really say what intensity, like if he was like going for a speed lift or a hard lift or anything like that. And there was a lot of people like chiming in. So what we're really covering is how to warm up for your main lifts or your main sets kind of thing, if you're doing like 4 or 5 sets. And there's a lot of people chiming in just saying, I just do like 50% and 70% of it, then I go straight in. Or there's some people who just do half it and then go straight in, or just go straight in. And there's no thought to maybe doing any kind of high impact velocity stuff or energy kind of, force production in any of those scenarios. Which I guess it comes from an S&C mechanical background, that we talk about ground reaction time and being able to put that force through the floor a little bit better. So whether it be high explosive jumps or high explosive lifts before doing a deadlift, for example, broad jumps, or making that lift be as tensionless and as powerful as possible with just a barbell, or just doing very like boundy pogos just before it. So we're trying to put a load of energy through your tendon or any of the mechanisms that are being used. It's all about this cool word called central nervous system potentiation. It's amazing. But
do you want my honest opinion as to why I don't think many people do it?
Time and don't know.
I think there's a bit of that. I actually think
looks stupid.
I think that's more like it. Like, no, genuinely, like, I think people are so bothered about how they look in the gym, and like, I think if you're a top level powerlifter, you wouldn't give a fuck. You just do that sort of stuff, and maybe they just need to be educated.
Mate. I just do it all the time, so I'm a moron.
Oh yeah, maybe they need to be educated and things like that. But I genuinely believe that there is certainly a lack of knowledge about what exactly to do with that sort of thing. Like, again, I wouldn't program that for any of my clients because I wouldn't trust them to do it properly.
So I probably only do it for my one-to-ones. I do it for one or two onlines because they know exactly what I want to happen.
That's the thing, I think, that one of the things. But I genuinely believe space in the gym, time of day you train, and looking stupid when you're doing it is the reason. No, genuinely, like
it's got to be looking stupid, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's why people wouldn't do it, and maybe that's why it's been boo-booed a little bit and not out there in the mainstream, because it's like, well, who wants to do fucking those sort of jumps before they, they're going to look, you would look a little bit like obscure doing it because people haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
And I think you can't discount that, genuinely.
So there's a couple of the basic ones are like counter movement jumps. All my clients will do some sort of drop jump, like quick reaction, push, stamp into the ground to get them buzzy. Like you immediately, if you start stamping at something, you're like, shit, I'm on. Like everything's on. So that's what I make them do, no matter what session they're doing. And I'm like, all right, cool. You can do that with anything. Imagine you're punching something, you're going to be like braced on. You start doing these pulse things, and you like golfers and stuff like that do pulse movements. So they start the movement, relax, and then pulse it up again. So they go contract, relax, contract. All this kind of rubbish. Obviously, you probably look dumb. Doing
and a lot of them are true athletes, to be fair.
They are true athletes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. There's one like a little, so the depth jump with the little drop off the box jumps, drop off a box, not jumping onto a box. All the pogos, all those kind of little floaty bound things that I like doing before squatting or deadlifting. Just a lower body potentiate, to be honest. Get it from
you just like looking cool, mate, don't you?
So cool. Yeah. I look awful when I do them. And 100%, I do get a lot of looks. Because it looks weird. Yeah.
And I think that's, like I said, I don't think many people admit it, but I would hazard a guess that is one reason why people don't do that, or even look into it or think of it as something to, as a way of doing things.
I do a little post on like 3 different ways to potentiate for squats, deadlifts. That's about it. That's all it needs. If you really want to, that
online post that
might not look as stupid. Stupidity factor is going to be the rating system, and I'll do those. That'll be fine. I'll make you do them though, mate. You probably perform them a little better than me. So
if I do those pogo jumps, mate, my hair's going to go all over the place. So I just look silly.
Those flowing locks, absolutely.
My wig will jump off.
Right, I've got one more thing I wanted to ask you, Dan.
No, I don't know what Game of Thrones is, and I don't intend on watching it.
No, is your mouth all right? Yeah, was it still sore?
My mouth is all right, mate. Yeah, didn't get sore at all from all the plastic you had. You put all the plastic in it, and it felt fine.
We both had a lot of plastic in our mouths over the weekend, and my top of my gums are a little bit sore. But yeah,
I'm clean. I am clean. I've got nothing. I've got no diseases.
I think my insides are a little bit too pronounced, so I think I've got there. Yeah, bit weird. All right. So the marathon was on the weekend. So do you want to talk about any recovery protocols that people should be doing? Give a 10 second answer. Go.
Eat loads of cereal.
There we go. Cool. All right. Carb up, basically.
We said this. I did this. Me and Mike were in the car today talking about marathon. He said to someone he knew did the marathon, and it was funny because I was sat there going, I'd rather pay a charity £1,000 than run the marathon and get money off people to do it. Like I'd just pay £1,000. I just wouldn't do it. I don't get it. I know it's for people do it for a great cause. I'd rather just donate that money myself and not have to do the training.
One of my clients was like, "Nah, wait until you're like 40, 50." I was like, "I don't know. I don't think so."
I'll still be in the gym squatting, mate.
He was like, "That's what I said. I said I'd never do it, but I did it." And I was like, but he also did it in like 3 hours 30, and I was like, "No way, I'm doing that."
No.
There's no way
you're doing
it.
Effort.
No way you're doing it now. You're training with me anyway. But you got 100 kilo bench, so yeah, great.
Hats off to anyone who can do it. To be fair, I just don't have the mental fortitude. I don't think.
So off the back of our episode last week, we asked what was the worst diet. So I thought, as aside from marathon, what are the worst things to train for?
Ironman.
It's just 100%. Just longer. That's
100%. Because that's a marathon and then a ridiculous amount of swimming and biking as well. I think
you're sticking down the endurance route, right?
100%. Like 100%. I do think bodybuilding is different.
So I've written bodybuilding as one of the ones that I don't think a bodybuilding show in particular and prep.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've never done that. I've been lean, but there's no way I've been anything like that. And I've never gone to the extreme of like long distance stuff. So I don't really know. I'm just looking from the outside in.
I think with all of these endeavors, though, I am a firm believer that it's in no way, shape, or form the physical pain. It's not that. It's pain, all in your head. Like even marathon running to a degree, it's just like people talk about. It's in your head. It's you've done the miles, you've done all that, but you get to a point where it's just about how much you want it. And I mean, that guy we talked about earlier probably have loads of clients who could do it. Really. But there is an element to it where it is just about about a mindset and about a mentality towards it. Like bodybuilding's the same. You get to a certain point. This is the point I made it before about that guy. Is like you get to a certain point, you can get lean, you can look great, but to go to a bodybuilding stage, you have to go to a place where it is a bit minging. And yeah, you might have to, forego social events for a few weeks and stuff like that. Like that's not what we're talking about.
I'm sorry, you just said the word minging. I've not heard that for a while.
Minging, yeah, minging. That's a great word.
That's coming out of the closet. I'm using that for a while.
And like it is kind of like mental pain. It's not physical, I don't think, half the time with those sorts of endeavours.
Yeah.
But mate, I 100% Iron Man. 100% like horrific.
Iron Man. I think like
if I had to pick one, that's one I wouldn't ever want to do.
Ross Edgley's swim.
Ross Edgley's swim. That looked horrific.
That looked awful. Dan going, is he not done yet? Weekend.
But again, I know I'm sorry to harp on about the point, but going back to the first point made about Chris Geffen and stuff, right?
Jeez, you ain't let go now, are you?
I know, but Ross Edgley, right, is someone who's done something that requires that level of dedication, but he would never talk about it that way. No. He wouldn't put himself on that pedestal and be like, no one sees it. He'd just be like, well, yeah, I wanted to do it, so I just did it.
And then he'd probably post like, you guys can probably do a similar thing if you want to do. Any goal's probably achievable. Like, look at this.
And I just think that just made me think about him then. But that sounds terrific. That's not really a sport, is it? That was just an endeavour. I think like bodybuilding and Ironman are actual things people do.
Yeah,
strangely, all at once as well. I'm trying to think what else would be horrific.
I feel like the training for obviously football, no, rugby, no, all kind of team sports, no, they're not like
there's talent involved in that. Whereas, like I think with marathon running and stuff like that, I mean, obviously there's a genetic element of
genetic talent,
but it's not really. It's not.
Mechanics.
That's not. Is it talent? It's not skillful talent. I think that's just good genetics and then the ability to train very, very hard.
Yeah,
it's obviously, you learn how to run. Maybe
you got to learn how to swim.
Yeah, no, swimming I think people have to learn how to do, but running I don't think you learn to run. You just run. Like Paula Radcliffe proved that, right?
Just run,
poor running technique, but great runner.
Like the head thing. Yeah.
Whether genetically she was just built to run and all that sort of stuff. I don't want to discount runners. I don't want to say they're talentless. That's not what I'm saying. No. I just don't think it's like the same. That's why I don't think you can include football and rugby and stuff because there's an element of talent and skill involved. So I think what else there is that's quite tough, like Olympic events and things.
I mean, strongman, but I feel like they enjoy that too much.
You get to eat a lot of food with that. So. I'm sticking with Iron Man as the worst, 100% the worst.
I think any kind of mega Iron Man, anything like that is got to be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
I think something like I don't know what the training's like for it, but I'd imagine doing it would be like I don't know some intense rock climbing. That wouldn't be great. Mm-hmm. I feel like that looks
element of death involved as well.
Like that's looks and sounds and is probably quite awful, and falling off, like trying to grab on with like fingernails and all that business, getting cramped there, not cool. That'd be quite tough. But yeah, if you guys got another idea, when you repost this, share it, mate. Any other business?
No other business, I don't think.
No other business. No, I don't think there's anything else either. We got next week will be show for Body Power. Obviously, let us know if you are at Body Power. Dan is there on the
Friday.
I am there on the Friday and the Saturday. If anybody wants to say hello, then more than welcome. You'll probably be in your B&B kit, won't you? 100%. I might have to get my Push Pull Legs t-shirt under my Biceps Banter hoodie, so I can just whip it out depending on who's there. I'm contractually obliged to wear my Third Space stuff. That's who I'm representing. That's who's paying for me to be there. So
I'm contractually obliged to be there with absolutely fucking nobody. That's right.
Dan's gonna come chill with us. Looks like he's got friends.
Probably. I'm going to be coming to you for a free car parking pass. Like, Tom, can you get me a free car parking pass, please, mate?
All right. What?
No, genuinely, you will probably have one, and you've obviously not driven. You've got the hotel and everything there, so
I don't know what. What we're doing.
Yeah, if you get a little speaker tag, you get a free car parking pass, and you can give it to me. Perfect.
You know I'm driving, right?
No, I know, but you'll be driving to like the hotel or something like that, and you'll get like you'll be able to wangle a free one. Trust me. Extra free one.
Okay, wonderful. At some point, yeah, we'll see.
Or if you're driving someone else, like they'll get one or whatever.
They'll get one. Yeah, we got like 4 in the car. I'm
sure. Are you chauffeuring? You must be driving Josh, surely.
Oh, of course, yeah. Josh didn't get my Mini S.
Yeah,
and
Josh has got like a brand new Range Rover.
But he decided to slum it with me. My car's quick off the ground, off the start, mate.
Not with 4 people in it, won't it?
Definitely won't be. Yeah, it'll be like, be awful. All right. There's nothing else from me, so we will catch you next week.
See you later.